Hi guys, my name is RIOT. I've been a professional trader for 20 years now. Started way back in 2005 working for one of the big six banks here in Canada, and for the past 10 years I've been trading my own account. We usually start off with the S&P 500 as always because knowing which way the market goes is important, because if the market is going up, any stock that you're going to buy is probably going to go up. But first, the most important thing that I wanted to discuss today is Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, specifically CleanSpark, RIOT, and Mara. Which one is the best? Should we play them? Well, we're going to see. But first, let's talk about the S&P 500 and the technical picture. Okay, as you can see, this is Wednesday, the 26th of November, on a shortened Thanksgiving Day week. This has been a blowout, a huge move in the market for the past week and the past 4 days. Okay, the technical picture right now is certainly looking good. It's still bullish, and if you look at the moving averages, yesterday we closed above the 50, and we said we need to consolidate this move for at least another week or so before we're confident that we're heading much higher. Okay, so, and today, blowout move way above the 50. This is a bullish configuration. We recaptured it fairly quickly after this big bearish engulfing candle that didn't play out. And really, it was the Bitcoin capitulation that did this. Okay, without this capitulation selling, this market is going to go much higher. In my opinion, I reiterate my bullish stance for the end of the year. So this is also coupled with the sentiment analysis that we always look at. Fear and greed, extreme fear. Everything is at extreme fear. Still, we have a lot more room to go for this bullish move to play out. Okay. However, it doesn't mean we're going to go straight up. I mean, we could easily consolidate here, retest the 50 before going up. That would be very healthy. Okay. And we would really like to get above this level right here, 684. We're close. Hopefully it happens next week and in the weeks to come. So the picture here, the technical picture, technical analysis is clear that we are in bullish mode. Okay. So let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. This is what I really want to get to today. So Bitcoin, okay, we said that, let's get rid of the moving averages for now. Cleaner picture. We said that this event on Friday, is probably the capitulation event, high volume after a series of drops with relatively high volume. And now we're getting follow through, okay? And we said we can get a 10-20% move up in Bitcoin, which will bring it to like 90, right here. We're up already 10%, more than 10%. We can get to 96.20, even a 30% move, and it would still be bearish. It's still, like if you look at the overall move, we went to 125, we're at 90. Okay, so this is like still a bearish chart pattern. However, we have these huge moves in bearishness, huge counter trend moves. And for me, like, Bitcoin doesn't really have to go up for the market to go up, because I'm more into market stocks and others. But Bitcoin, if you want to play it, you could play Bitcoin directly, but the Bitcoin miners will get you more leverage. Okay, now, if you want to play this move, which miner should you look at? Okay, so first we look at Mara. How has it fared? Okay, we see that it's minuscule. You can barely even see it. It went down from like $23 all the way down to like $9.70 in the crash. That's a big drop. And as Bitcoin has recovered, what has it done? Almost nothing, okay? Mara, the fundamentals are not that good. Its balance sheet is levered. It took on a lot of debt. And so far, we can tell that the market doesn't like this stock as much as it likes others, okay? So let's look at its competition. RIOT. Blockchain is the first one. RIOT also took a big hit from 23 down to like, didn't go down to 970 like Mara, so it held on better. It went all the way down to like 12. What did it close at? 12.40, 50. And it made a move up to like 15, which is pretty good. What was that, a 20-something% move? Yeah, that's a pretty good move considering that Bitcoin is up 10. And it's smack down right at this support resistance level that's going back a while. Okay, so it might pause here after a big move. So yes, RIOT blockchain is doing fairly well. The entire space has done okay this year. They've turned profitable, but really they require a high Bitcoin price to make money. Okay, and what about the one that I like here? CleanSpark. CleanSpark is doing much better than the rest. Okay, much better. It fell as much as Mara did, but the rebound is much, much heavier. It went from like what, 920, 950 to 13. So that's like what, a 30, 40% move. So, but it's hitting resistance now. Okay, this level of resistance, you can see right here it stopped. Gap right here it stopped. I mean, if we can go all the way back to the beginning, it's probably its initial price back in 2013. That's like the opening price. You can see many times it hit this level. It's tough to see, but you can see many times it hit this level and it got rejected when it was below. And when it clears it above, big moves. It clears it above, big moves. So when it comes to CleanSpark, this level, the 1350-ish level, is big. It must clear this before it'll probably go up to 23 if it does clear 1350. So in terms of percentage moves in the past 3 days, we see that Bitcoin in the past 3-4 days has gone up. It's at from 90 was down to like below 80. Let's see the wick. Yeah, it went to like 80, not below 80, slightly above 80. Okay. So Bitcoin made a good move, a 10% move. But out of those three miners, if you wanted to play it, CleanSpark is the best. It has, like if you look at the financials, we could really look at it if you'd like, but it's not really necessary at this point. Suffice it to say that it requires, meaning CleanSpark requires 80,000 Bitcoin price for it to be profitable. If Bitcoin is at 60, 70K, CleanSpark loses money, and so does RIOT, and so does Mara. All these miners will lose money because the cost to mine is so huge. Okay, electricity cost is so huge, and the vast majority of the expansion of these Bitcoin miners is the Bitcoin that they hold. I mean, it's a very simple business model. Okay? You don't have to get too complicated. The vast majority of their profits and their assets, like if we look at here, if we look at the balance sheet for CleanSpark, September 30th, 2025, you can see here that the total assets are 1.3 million, right? So it's in thousands, so billion, 1.3 billion in assets, mainly due to here. This is the Bitcoin. Here, that's the current Bitcoin level. Let's see if you can go even. No, it's too much. Okay, so it's the Bitcoin level. See, before, it literally doubled its Bitcoin. That's the assets that's up. And the liabilities were almost nothing. Look, they had 1.9 billion of assets in 2024 with only 200 million in debt liabilities. And now that quintupled to 1 million. It's still a 3-to-1 ratio. If you look at the liabilities here, the total liabilities, it's mostly because they have a lot of long-term debt that they took on, okay, which is this portion right here. This is their convertible debt that was issued. So even CleanSpark took on debt this year, okay, and if you look at its financials more intensely, more accurately, you see revenues here that it destroyed and doubled in revenues, and here it's the income from operations. It actually turned a profit for the first time in like years, okay? But look, even in 2024, when the price of Bitcoin was like 50, 60,000, it wasn't making any money. It requires 80,000 or more. It sold its Bitcoin for like 100,000, 90, 100. That's why it made this money. Okay, so these guys understand that CleanSpark requires an $80,000 Bitcoin price to make money. I mean, Bitcoin now is above that. It's like 89. But just keep that in mind. This entire space is teetering on the brink of losses whenever Bitcoin goes below 80,000. Okay, so this entire space right now, if you want to get into these miners, I would go with CleanSpark. Okay, I wouldn't get into it right now because it could be hit resistance and go down. Wait till it forms some kind of base before going up again. You needed a technical reason to enter. We always need a technical reason to enter a fundamentally good space. I don't consider this fundamentally good. However, the fundamental reason to enter was when Bitcoin capitulated. Okay, that was a fundamental reason to enter. It doesn't mean it's going to go up. It could just consolidate here for a long time, okay, which I think it does. But to me, this was the fundamental event if you wanted to enter the space. And you could have entered it and made this kind of money. But for me personally, I'm not into it. I'm not buying it. I'm just saying if you want to buy it, the smart move would be CleanSpark out of the three that we mentioned. Okay, so that's it for the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So let's recap a bit of what we did in the past couple of days, especially some of our trades here. Microsoft, I'd like to talk that through again. We entered it a couple of days ago as it hit this long-term support level, and the market was flushing out, and Bitcoin capitulation ended. So we knew that there would be no pressure in other risk assets, i.e. big market stocks. Okay, and we mentioned here that we entered via a put spread. Okay, so today, big gap move up. Our put spread now is we've realized 65% of the total profit that we can realize. Okay, so we can get out of it right now, but we're going to hold it for a little bit longer and realize a little bit more of that total potential profit. Okay, and NVDA, what about the AI trade there? Still holding within this zone, not doing great. Okay, the better one is Google, holding at highs. Okay, so let's recap for the market today. Bullish. Stay strong, stay long, above the 50-day moving average and consolidating. It might retest it and go up. Nothing goes up in a straight line. And of course, we're looking for 700 and 720 by year end in the market. If you want to play the Bitcoin miners, I suggest forget Mara. The market really hates this stock. RIOT, okay. I would call this the average one, even though it's hitting resistance at this point. Might stop. And the preferred child, the golden child, would be CleanSpark. Okay, this one has more torque on the upside. That's if you want to play Bitcoin. Personally, I'm not playing it at this time. I already have a Mara trade going, but it's probably going to be underwater. It expires in January. So if you want to play this game, CleanSpark, market doing good, and I foresee the market to continue to go up into year end. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another daily market update. If this helped, just like and subscribe. And if you ever want me to review one of your stocks, both fundamentally and technically, just drop me a line and I'll do it. Thank you very much. Later.